Now, today, around about 800 migrants crossed the Channel. Yes, that is 800 more people who have put nothing into our economy, that we have to clothe, feed, accommodate and entertain. Our infrastructure is already at breaking point and we simply cannot afford it. Here's Keir Starmer's approach.
We struck the returns arrangement with France and notwithstanding the challenges to that scheme, which you've seen in the last few days, a flight went off at 6:15 this morning, successfully returning someone under that scheme.
Yes, someone. And here's Donald Trump's approach.
It doesn't matter if you call out the military, it doesn't matter what means you use, but it's going to destroys countries from within.
He's right, isn't he? Bring in the military. And by that, I don't mean accommodate them in military bases. I got excited the other week when I heard Defence Secretary John Healey broach the subject, but it turned out what he meant was bringing them into military bases. He was talking about military giving up their dwellings, and many of which are not fit for purpose anyway, then doing them up to accommodate these people and then not bringing them in to protect our borders, which is what I was hoping.
I'm working closely with the Home Office and will do with the new Home Secretary to look at the scope for military sites and non-military sites to be the places where we can house some of the asylum seekers, some of the immigrants in the future.
Oh, great. So let them come across our dinghy and then find somewhere to put them. I mean, what is the point of this? Instead, we have a one-in, one-out scheme, which, after failing appeals, we laughably send a second migrant back and then a third one also left today. And it turns out that Sir Keir Starmer's friend, the Attorney General Lord Hermer, who oversees the Crown Prosecution Service, or the CPS, and the Serious Fraud Office, which is the SFO, whose powers include providing legal and policy advice to the government and can refer unduly lenient sentences to the Court of Appeal and initiate contempt of court proceedings or grant consent for certain prosecutions, intervening in cases where the public interest is at stake, particularly regarding charities and government litigation. Well, that guy gave free legal advice in 2019 to a charity that helps migrants to fight deportation from Britain. Great. That was some time ago, but doesn't it raise questions about whether he's able to work in our interests? You couldn't make this up. There is one bit of good news, though.
For the very first time, migrants arriving via small boat will be detained and returned to France in short order.
Really? Well, let's see if that comes with a caveat. Will this latest batch who arrived after Sir Keir Starmer said that, will they be detained? Don't hold your breath. Right, let's get our first question. Your name is?
Kumari.
Kumari, and what's your question?
Why military? I think it's police forces should be enough, because French police forces there all the time, nothing happened, they do nothing. So police force, our British police forces can employ there and they can work for that.
So what you're saying is, why can't we use the British staff in
British
France,
staff
rather like we do at Dover and Calais when people go across to France in a lorry or whatever? Yeah, good question. Let's go to Barry Gardiner. We'll start with you first.
Well, in fact, the joint, or the commander of the UK Joint Forces, former Commander Sir Richard Burns, addressed the question that President Trump raised about the military. And he said there was very little that they could add to what the border force currently are doing. But, you know, when you shake hands with a politician, you should always count your fingers afterwards. Because I heard what President Trump said, and he's made a really big deal about how he deports illegal migrants. So I checked with the Department of Homeland Security, and I got the monthly breakdown for Trump's whole first term. In total, over the 4 years, he deported 2.1 million illegal, undocumented migrants. Joe Biden, remember him, Sleepy Joe, deported 4.6 million, more than twice as much as Trump.
And how many come in, Barry? How many come in under Biden?
Actually, the figures stayed the same. They were 11 million undocumented migrants in the US, pretty much throughout the whole time of the past 15 years. And if I can just finish, even Barack Obama, if you look at
10 years ago, we're talking about now. Are we going to live in our history?
What we're trying to do is we're trying to say, believe the guy who's got a track record.
Illegal
the track record of Trump.
97%
The track record of Trump is not to have done the things that he says he was going to do.
All right, Laila Cunningham.
Trump 2.0, illegal migration is down by 97% in the USA, and it's never been lower, and that's because Trump did whatever it takes. I don't know why we can't stop these dinghies. Basically, they're criminals in flip-flops pushing dinghies into the sea. They're not James Bond villains, but somehow they keep evading our border control. So yes, we do need the military, because what the military has, they have drones, they have military capability, they can escort them back to France, and a real bilateral deal would have been the deal between France and England, where we say, you take back your migrants, not a one-in where France gets a veto who we send back to and we get none. That's such a weak agreement. It's almost an embarrassment. And the fact that Shabana Mahmood had the audacity to do a video was almost like a satire from Spitting Image. We are, we're in control. We've sent one back. You're like, are you for real? Thousands of, it's basically 3 out and 5,000 in?
No, it was never meant to be anything other than a pilot scheme, and everybody knows that it was a pilot scheme.
But that was the same as Rwanda, and they laughed that out. They said, Rwanda hasn't got the capacity to take everyone. Rwanda hasn't got the capacity to take everybody. Oh, no, you only get a couple of hundred there. It'll be full. And the idea was with Rwanda was a similar concept to this one in, one out, that you'd actually expand it gradually. This one in, one out, 800 came in. We've had 3 goes.
And £700 million
Rwanda,
4 volunteers back.
Barry, it was a deterrent, Rwanda.
£700 million.
Let me just now, I'm going to go off on one here, because this country is in crisis. We need to call a national emergency. Labour MPs like Barry and many MPs in Parliament do not realise the damage that illegal immigration is doing to our communities. I'm sitting here livid because in Epping I've been protesting because a 14-year-old girl was sexually assaulted by a migrant in our town. Also, we've had this week a homeless asylum seeker. He has been found on 2 school grounds this week, and he's been seen outside numerous others. We are petrified in Essex, in Loughton, Chigwell, Epping, because of these illegal immigrants. We do not know anything about them, what they've done in the past. As Barry said, we've had, I think, 6,000 in now, 3 out on this scheme. It's laughable. It's pure PR, and it's so that these MPs and Labour can say, look what we're doing, to get the headlines. They do not care.
When they're doing nothing.
Illegal immigration does not affect the likes of Barry, Keir Starmer in their town. It is people like us that are seeing our daughters.
Nonsense.
It is people like us that are seeing rapes, sexual assaults.
Seekers in my constituency than you have.
Then why don't you fight for your constituents?
Exactly.
Fighting for your party.
Well said.
How dare you?
Why don't you ask them what they think? Stop playing party politics and take care of your constituents. They voted for you to protect them.
You know what?
Not to pander to Starmer.
Do you know how many times they voted for me? Let me answer you. Let me answer you. You know how many times my constituents have voted for me? They've voted for me 8 times in 28 years. In 28 years. So don't tell me I don't fight for my constituents.
It's different times now, Barry. We are seeing rapes, sexual assaults, paedophilia from people that should not be in this country.
Adam, we are seeing convicted
That's true, but the majority of migrants aren't like that. But let's...
No, if 5%, we've got a problem.
All right. Let's just, we're not going to get anywhere if we're all just hollering at each other. Sorry, I'm just
I'll do that. Let them talk, but go on. What are you going to say?
I want to correct you, Barry, because yes, there were a decent amount of of deportations under Joe Biden, but there were actually 8 million migrant encounters nationwide during his time in office. 6.7 million were at the southwest border, and 1.7 million of them actually got away, and that they've never been found since. So I don't think you can just point to Joe Biden as an example of success. And I just want to make that clear to start with. Look, the reason that this doesn't make any sense, and the reason why I think we need to sort of try and debate this in a way that is going to actually come up with solutions, is that it's just moronic to think that a deterrent will be to tell the people that come that you might get sent back to the country that you've come from. Like, then what's the point in not trying? If you're going to be sent to Rwanda or a third country or somewhere that's far away, then fine. A migrant might try and say, well, I might not cross then because I won't end up in the UK. But if the worst that's going to happen to you is that you don't end up in the UK, but you end up back where you started in France, well, then you would give it a go, wouldn't you?
Sorry, no, not 1 second.
Yes,
I had actually started answering.
He spoke already.
That's okay. We'll come back to him. Laila, just say
The percentage of those being sent back is about, at this rate, is about 97% are staying. So who wouldn't take their
Well, I'll give you the percentage. I'll give you on the percentage. So out of the 30,000 that have crossed the channel this year so far, by sending back 3, that equates to 0.0001.
Well done, Keir Starmer. Well done, Keir Starmer.
Let's keep going. No, I want Barry to come back. Barry.
Yeah. Look, the figures that you quoted, Christo, don't take account of the fact that the total undocumented migrants in the United States, total undocumented migrants through the period for the past 15 years have been 11 million a year. Now, when we're talking about what we're doing with the one-in, one-out policy, it is simply a pilot policy. And the point of it is it's the first time since Brexit, actually, because, of course, in those days we were able to send people back.
But France wouldn't take them under the
to
double.
27 different countries. We can't do that now because of Brexit. Okay?
Nonsense.
And it's also, unfortunately for those who support reform, it's also reform's policy that says, yes, get the naval boats in the Channel and push them back to France. So to say sending them back to France isn't actually going to make any difference.
It's a deterrent, Barry.
You say it's going to make any difference.
It did in Greece and Australia.
If they're going back to France, you can't criticise our policy for sending them back to France when it's exactly the same as your policy.
No, not if they don't make it onto UK soil.
One second.
Do you think those arriving... So we know now that a terrorist, a convicted bomb maker from Egypt, was allowed into our country, a terrorist. How many more terrorists have arrived in this country? Is the government keeping track? Do they have any idea where they are? And this is a national emergency. We have terrorists on our soil. And what is the point of going through Heathrow? Why would any terrorist bother? They just jump on a dinghy and you know what? It's guaranteed entry.
Can I point out...
Do you think they should be housed amongst us or in detention centres?
Can I point out...
Do you think they should be housed in detention centres?
If you'll let me answer you, Laila, I'm very happy to do it, but, you know, you have to give it time.
Then we've got to get to Adam and then...
I just point out to you that actually most of the terrorists who have been in this country have been homegrown. They've grown up here.
So let more in?
No, I didn't say that.
Well,
but you're acting as if terrorists only come across in small boats.
No, I'm acting
that
you've
is
got more
complete nonsense.
Right, just quickly, we can sort this out. Keir Starmer knows we can sort this out. Greece have started detaining illegal immigrants in their country. They offer them tents. They threaten them with 5-year prison sentences. Suddenly, the numbers trying have collapsed. If we do something similar here, that would also happen. But we have a human rights lawyer as our Prime Minister, and he's never going to offer them a tent. Yeah. So they come here and know they're going to get a hotel, fed 3 times a day, and more rights than local residents, as the government's own lawyers have stated in court. It is a disgrace, and it is on purpose.
Okay, it's not.
Okay, just very quickly. Firstly, there is a difference between someone arriving here and being deported back to France on the off chance and someone being turned back halfway across and not making it to British soil. Firstly. Secondly, the idea of border force being the way in which this should be addressed. Border force actually bring migrants to the UK when they find them in the water. In Australia, they had blue sky thinking. They turned them back or they took them to offshore processing centres. It's those sorts of tactics we need to be thinking about.
And it works. We've run out of time on it.